So let's turn to the fucking tornadoes. Okay, so this is the tornadoes in, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee. 34 dead across U.S. as fierce storms moved towards the East Coast. The storm system left buildings and ruins, wrecked power supply, and intensified more than 100 wildfires. The storms left hundreds of thousands of customers without power, injured 29 people in Arkansas, caused fatalities linked to wildfires. Nearly 9 million people are under tornado watches, including Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and 82.8 million are covered by wind advisories, particularly in the middle of the country. Severe weather threats are moving eastward overnight, with Georgia bracing for heavy rainfall, flash floods, damaging wind gusts, and quickly developing tornadoes. Texas fire 40% contained, says Forest Service. A crabapple fire in Gillespie County in central Texas covered an estimated 8,640 acres is now 40% contained. High winds blowing through the southern U.S. this weekend have caused thousands of acres of wildfires in the state. The crabapple fire is the second largest in Texas, at the Windmill Fire in Robert County, which covers 23,000 acres and is 65% contained. The Weather Service said earlier, red flag warning which signal critical fire weather conditions are currently in place over large parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska, and Wyoming, and South Dakota. All right, so lots of stuff going on this weekend with weather. So I saw this earlier, right? No thanks. I don't care about your bullshit. DOGE sackings at NOAA sparked new warning over tornado responses, 37 killed in twisters. Many fear shakeups at NOAA could have impact on the department's ability to respond to tornadoes after twisters ravaged Midwest on Friday night, leaving 37 dead. After a series of powerful tornadoes swept through the Midwest on Friday night and Saturday morning, killing at least 37, many are voicing new concerns about DOGE cuts to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which issues warnings about dangerous storms. NOAA, which contains the National Weather Service, recently has faced mass layoffs amounting to about 10% of its workforce, as DOGE looks for areas of the federal government to make cuts, hoping to slash the size of government and reduce spending. This accounts for about 1,029 employees of the currently 10,290 that work for the agency. 3 former NOAA officials told the Associated Press. Many who were fired included probationary staff, some of whom do critical local forecasts for the National Weather Service across the country. NOAA is responsible for not only publishing daily weather forecasts, but also for monitoring and warning the nation about hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, tsunamis, and space weather that could impact the electrical grid in some areas. It also manages the country's fisheries, runs its marine sanctuaries, provides navigation information to ships, as well as it names implies, monitors changes in the climate in the ocean. One of the U.S. most crucial government agencies, and it keeps hundreds of millions of Americans safe every day with its forecasts, extreme weather warnings. Some facets of the organization help areas battered by extreme weather respond to disasters, including tornadoes and larger scale events like oil spills. But on Friday night and Saturday, tornadoes ravaged the areas of Mississippi Valley, deep in the south, and other extreme weather rattled other parts of the country, killing at least 37 people total, as countless homes were utterly destroyed. Some were killed in their homes as they slept, with tornadoes ripping through properties, completely uprooting them as debris was sent flying for miles across Missouri, Arkansas, and other parts of the Midwest and South. The Great Plains wind triggered dust storms that ultimately fanned over 100 wildfires. Harrowing videos posted on social media show the fires ripping through entire communities, utterly decimating them. Over 100 million people were under alert for the severe weather, with a forecast predicting winds of up to 80 miles an hour from Canada to Texas, with blizzards expected in the north as wildfire risk continued threaten the warmer, drier areas of the south. Car accidents were also a significant cause of death from the storms, and 3 killed on Friday on the Amarillo, Texas, which is located in the Panhandle. One pileup contained an estimated 38 cars. It's the worst I've ever seen, Barley said, with calling the near-zero visibility a nightmare. We couldn't tell that they were all together until the dust kind of settled. Cave City, Arkansas was placed under a state of emergency until further notice. Mayor Jonas Arneson said on social media early Saturday after 5 people were injured there. The entire community was ripped apart by tornadoes. Electricity infrastructure has been decimated and will remain off for an unknown period of time. He said evacuations orders were widespread across several states. Social media fears about DOGE cuts, He's based in Alice that wrote, "Tonight is an example why we need the National Weather Service and all of its meteorologists. They are out there saving lives during tornado outbreaks, and they're doing a less commendable job." Listen, I'm going to keep it a buck. Here's what I think, okay? I think a lot of this probably could be automated, right, in the end of the day. And because computer models can recognize weather that could possibly cause, and that's literally what you're doing. Like, this weather could cause tornadoes, right? That's why, like, you get a large area and you go, listen, this is a tornado warning or a tornado, like, alert or whatever it is, right? These things happen because, like, there are recognizable patterns to them. So, like, there is absolutely no reason why it is that you have to have a human doing this, okay? Now, granted, this would be an issue, right, if, you had this, whatchamacallit, if you had this, like, fucking, and it started, like, giving off false things, right? Now people would stop paying attention to what's going on, right, with, like the tornadoes and shit. That 100% would be an issue. But again, this is probably pretty easy to, like, run through a computer model and get done. I think a lot of the government could probably be replaced by fucking an AI, right? That's kind of where we're going. You know what I'm saying? I think that shit needs to, like, be talked about, like, way more often. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what, like, the message should be. Like, listen, a lot of this should be fucking automated. Like, it shouldn't be done, with human beings, right? Because, like, literally it's just a jobs program for college graduates. And then people, like, with, meteorology degrees, right, would, probably be out of work. But, again, we don't need meteorologists as much as we used to, right? It's just like fucking, we don't need fucking coal miners. Well, we still need coal miners. We don't need as many as we used to. These type of things, right? So that's kind of my mental on it. I understand that, like, this transition is fucking terrible because, like, we're going from a bureaucracy to, I don't want to say a technocracy, but more like we're going from a bureaucracy to a government that actually operates properly. You know what I mean? And is, like, way more lean and trim. Because that's what should happen, right, in the end of the day. Because the number one employer in the country is the government. That shouldn't be a thing, to be honest. All right, listen, I got another video from Middle Nation that